Okay, maybe in the meantime I start introducing myself. My name is Raymond Packbier. As on the set, I work for Ericsson in a place called Product Development Unit Mobile Core. Yeah, so we make the things that make you make telephone calls. I don't work here in Stockholm. I work in Germany, actually. I am not German, I am Dutch. I need to insist on that one. But I'm here in Stockholm today. In my product development unit, we started back in 2009 to start implementing Agile. So that's quite some time ago, and time went by, and then somewhere last year, actually a new word came by, a word called flow. Yeah, it happened to be that a book written by Niklas Modig, inspired quite a lot of managers, and we decided, okay, let's go for flow. And then some new questions started arriving. Okay, flow is one of the lean principles. Yeah, we're into that one. But what does it mean? Yeah, what can I do with flow? And then you read the books, and the books have many examples. And then you find that none of the
slides are not.
That will come.
That will come. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I need to press the button at least once.
Yeah, you have it there. So we should start in time.
Yeah. And one problem we saw that there were really good examples in the books, but I mean they were not really applicable to us. And then we thought, okay, let's make new examples for our work. But then somewhere along the process, somebody said, no, let's not do that. Let's make it more abstract and see where we get from there to really get some inspiration going. And maybe people will come up with ideas themselves. And that's what we did. And what is the result of that is a little presentation, Packbier presentation. Everybody heard of Packbier? Okay, I see some no's there, and I will quickly explain. A Packbier presentation is a presentation that runs automatically. So I'm in no control of the timing. Yeah, that's scary, by the way. It's 20 pictures. I will talk to each picture for 20 seconds, and then the slide will transfer. So after I stop the introduction, after 6 minutes 40, you will be out of here. Yeah. So let's just get started with that one. Everybody is talking about flow, but what does it actually mean? In the next 20 slides, I will show you some pictures that will explain you that flow is not really a new way of working or anything. It's rather another way of looking at efficiency. I will only talk about each picture for 20 seconds, so please pay attention and stick with the flow. The basic principle of every company is to increase the value of a product by applying people and resources to it. Now there's two ways I could look at the efficiency of this company, right? I could look in from the side, so very much from here, and I see this product flowing through the company and value being applied all the time. And I can look from the bottom, and I see all the people and resources, and I can check if they are working all the time, if they're busy all the time. What you see here is an example of resource efficiency. It's a magnetoresonance scanner. If you've ever been in one of these, you know it's not about you, right? This is a very expensive machine. And hospitals make having this machine profitable by making sure it's used all the time, even if the patient needs to wait. And then this is the other view. This is the flow efficiency view. Here, nobody is interested if these engineers are busy all the race, right? I mean, the car needs to get out of the pits as soon as possible. And this is typical for the flow efficiency view. Yeah, you're not so interested if people are working all the time. And then you have this. Assembly lines actually combine flow efficiency and resource efficiency. Yeah, the cars are moving all the time and the people are working all the time. It's great, isn't it? There's only one problem with this. Any type of change you need to do in the product or anything that is not working will stop the line. And you end up to be very inefficient. So summarize this. I mean, we have seen that there's two ways to look at efficiency, right? There's the resource efficiency view, the flow efficiency view, and it's possible to achieve both. But you're going to be very, very vulnerable for variability. Now next, let's look at what makes things flow, actually. And let's first maybe look at the flow object itself, the thing that flows through this company. And then you could ask yourself the question, how can I shape this flow object so that it flows easily? Yeah, it becomes fluid, right? And I mean, marbles here, they behave a bit like a fluid. Why is that? Because they're relatively small, they have very low friction, and they are of similar size. And I mean, immediately we started noticing, this is a bit like user stories, right? And then, okay, so I have a fluid, do I get flow automatically? No, not quite. I mean, something is missing. Something needs to make this move, right? You need some potential energy. And as with this roller coaster, I mean, potential energy means that either something is pushing it or something is pulling it. And then you can ask, well, is it up to us to decide if we push things through or if we pull things through? And yes, sometimes it is. And sometimes there's laws of nature like this one here. I mean, there's no way to push in the milk into the baby. That does not work. I know from experience. Yeah. Then, one thing is still missing if you've got all that. I mean, the stuff needs to flow through something, right? We need some kind of a medium. And what we see here is a river. And a river is a very suitable medium for transporting water. Yeah, in the sense that it takes your water from A to B. And however, sometimes, I mean, this is not a suitable medium. It depends on your flow object. If you look at information, that can also be a flow object, right? And information doesn't travel well through rivers. Yeah, rivers are not suitable for transporting flow. So I need something else. And this is just one example where a lot of information needs to get at one place. Yeah, the point is that your medium needs to support your flow object. Yeah, that needs to fit quite well. And by the way, also with information, I mean, also need push or pull, yeah? Just putting something on a web does not make information flow, as we all know. So let's summarize again. What we need is a fluid, we need potential energy, that's push or pull, and we need a suitable medium in order for flow to happen. And then we can ask, what can go wrong with flow, right? Let's look at it from the negative side of it. And then we see this. I mean, every process has got a bottleneck. Yeah, no matter what you do. And maybe a bottleneck is not even your problem. I mean, it's the flow. If the throughput is low enough, bottlenecks are not a problem. And that's also a bit of an advantage with the pull system, because you cannot pull harder than the bottleneck allows, right? Solving a lot of dimensioning problems. And if there is a bottleneck, I mean, what can happen actually? And one example that you see, what can happen that you see here, that's queuing, right? If you, by the way, look at this picture from a resource efficiency point of view, it's pretty cool, because the whole road is used all the time. Yeah, but I mean, nobody is interested, of course, in this situation, in resource efficiency. And then there's another thing that can happen as well if you get a bottleneck. I mean, maybe things don't queue, but maybe you get like this, an overflow. Yeah, stuff still flows, but the quality is not so good afterwards. And also maybe your medium gets quite damaged all the way, right? I mean, here it's clear what the medium is. In an organization, you can think of people getting stressed, for example. So is there anything else that go wrong? I mean, in this picture here, you see that everything was in place. We have a fluid, water. We have potential energy. There was a beautiful waterfall here. Yeah, and we had a medium as well. So what went wrong? I mean, the temperature is not right. Yeah, the organization as such is not supporting flow. Either motivation is missing, the stress level is too high, or we don't have the right tools. But let's now assume again everything is fine. And then you see that sometimes somebody or something is not following the rules, because we need to be flexible, right? And I mean, flexibility is good, of course, and everybody needs it. But we need to be aware that actually flexibility also lowers a bit your flow efficiency. And this is what happens when you look at flow optimization as well. I mean, there used to be a river here, just not now. Yeah, at the moment there is no water to process. We call this starvation. And that does not necessarily mean that with starvation you don't have anything to do. But you can work on improvements, for example, or work on innovations or stuff like that. And then, in a flow optimized system, if one step does not deliver, all the steps after that will face starvation. And there is something you can do to avoid that, and that's this, right? Introduce buffers, start piling up some stuff, so in case nothing's coming, I have something to work upon. And of course, that increases the lead time. You need to be aware of that one. So let's summarize a bit the hindrance. We have seen that bottlenecks can cause queuing or overflow. We have seen that a wrong environment can just stop flow immediately. And we saw that exemptions and flexibilities, they are good, but they actually impact the flow. So finally, it's about actually finding the right balance for your situation. I mean, how much of short lead time do I need? How much of starvation risk am I willing to face in my company? And then start doing exercises and find the way you want to implement this. In the end, again, it's about resource efficiency versus flow efficiency. So with this little presentation here, we've come to the end of it, really. We have started a bit the thinking process in our PDU, right? Again, we had the buzzword flow, and at least with this, people have started getting ideas. Ah, this is a temperature thing in my organization. Or, I can do this to my flow object to make it move easily. Yeah? This is how we started the journey. We started like 4 months ago. We're not really far with this one. We have some ideas and a lot of inspiration. If you're interested in this, there will be an open space session. I will be happy to share what we are doing. What I would be interested in also from you, if you have got any ideas or any exercises, any games we could play with our people to find out what's going wrong with flow. I would be very happy to hear those, even if it's just ideas. Okay, other than that, all I have to say is thank you for your attention. And for